Now, I am not an artist, and this became extremely evident when it came to these wood flowers. Here are some quality spring decor DIYs that are quick, easy, and affordable. Dollar Tree has these large wood jars with their Valentine products, and I had to grab them. I went ahead and removed the jute twine and metal band, and while I'm going to use the back side of these, I did remove the paper decor from the front. I then removed the label from the back, which gave me a great opportunity to use my new heat gun. Note to self, it is hot enough to shrink the plastic drop cloth. I decided to paint the front in a sort of landscape look with the ground at the bottom moving into a blue sky. I did feel the brown was a little too dark, so I used a wet brush to lighten it and used a lighter blue and darker blue to give an ombre look to the sky. I finished off the top with silver metallic paint. Now, I picked up these wood embellishments last year at Dollar Tree, and I was so excited to have a chance to actually use them. Now, sadly, I didn't realize my phone battery had died while I was filming, but I did use my paint pens to color these, and I have to say, it was really satisfying, kind of like 3D coloring. Anyway, I hot glued the pieces to the jars, then hot glued the metal band to the top. So I knew that I wanted to glue flowers to the back to basically create a 2D planter, but it took several tries for me to figure out exactly how I wanted it to look. Once I did settle on the flowers, I hot glued them to the back of the jars using copious amounts of hot glue, and I added a tongue depressor to the back to help hold them in place. A final step was to add puzzle blocks to the bottom on the backs to help stabilize the jars and keep them upright. I am really happy with how these turned out. Now, I've done a few wreaths with these frames that I picked up at Michael's and was excited to try a spring one. I really wanted this to be more spring and less Easter, but I also loved this cute bunny with the little rose garland. So I decided that I would include these wood flower cutouts to bring in more of a spring vibe. I used my paint pens to do the perimeter of the bunny and then gave it a quick coat of white paint and painted the roses pink. At first, I was going to keep the leaves the natural brown color that came on the wood, but decided to paint them green. And then I used my paint pen to go over the detail lines in the roses to give them dimension. Now, I am not an artist, and this became extremely evident when it came to these wood flowers. Now, I added some strokes from my paint pens to try and give the stems and leaves some dimension, which was okay, but definitely looked better in my mind. I then used my paint pens, some of which were giving me a fit, to give detail to the flower petals, with some being more successful than others. I actually repainted the yellow and purple flowers. Yeah, actually no idea what type of flowers they actually are supposed to be. And I didn't even try to redo the yellow ones. And for the purple ones, just went with some dark purple dots with my paint pen for the flowers. Next, I wrapped the top part of the wreath with this pink netting. And I've used a lot of this netting for crafting, and it's from the Dollar Tree. And I particularly liked the white dots that I think really scream spring. However, I was disappointed that a lot of the edge was splitting from the roll. I am not sure if it was because of the type of netting or this particular roll, but I did have to trim off several straggler pieces. The previous wreaths that I've done, I've also wrapped the bottom with the netting, but I decided to leave this one unwrapped. I then set about deciding how to decorate the bottom. You know that saying, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry? This is an example of that. So my initial plan was to put these wood flowers along one side, but that ended up looking too plain. So then I added some artificial flowers on the other side, but that looked odd. So after all of the time I spent on the wood flowers, I ended up not even using them. So I started to put artificial flowers at the bottom, and I really didn't like how they looked. So I decided it really needed the netting. As with my other wreaths, I tied the netting rather than gluing it so I could reuse the wreath frame in the future. I really wanted to only have blue flowers to really pick up that blue framing around the bunny. So once the netting was applied, I added a cluster in the corner. Now, even though it looked plain, I was going to leave it like that. I did look in my stash for a welcome sign that I could attach, but I did not have one. I then remembered that I had these leafy picks and added them to each side and then moved the blue tulips to the middle. I did like how this was looking, but still felt it was a bit plain, so I added the pink tulips to fill in the space. Remember how I said I didn't want to glue anything to the wreath frame? The picks were not staying in place, and honestly, I was kind of over the whole thing, so the glue gun came out and I glued down the flower pieces. Maybe the glue won't stick too badly to the plastic coating on the wreath. Who knows? So with the flowers in place and the bunny hanging in the middle, I finally had this lovely spring wreath for my wall or front door. So I found these windows on clearance last year, I think at Joann's, and I thought they would look cute mounted on these Dollar Tree houses. I started by painting the frames of the houses white or black to match the interior color so that they were all one color. I then removed the hanger from the window pieces and cut a piece of scrapbook paper that looked like the sky and affixed it to the back of the window. Now, I originally planned to put the black window on the white house and vice versa, but decided I actually liked them better in the same colored house rather than opposite. Let me know in the comments which you prefer. After gluing them down, I added some wood butterflies that I had colored with my paint pens. I finished by reattaching the hanger with hot glue. Now I had to put the hanger at the top because the back of the house was not flat. In hindsight though, I wish I had added a wood block to the back so that I could attach the hanger in a location that was not visible. That aside, I am really happy with how these turned out. They'll work on your tabletop or on the wall, although I think I prefer them on the wall. I hope this video provides inspiration for your own spring decor pieces. And if you haven't already done so, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications to get more quick, easy, and affordable crafts and DIYs. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you have a quality day.